Your last relationship didn't fail because you didn't love them enough. It failed because you applied maximum thrust to a structurally compromised vessel. You were attempting a high-altitude launch with micro-tears in your envelope and contaminated fuel in your tanks. This wasn't a failure of heart. It was a catastrophic failure of engineering. And today, we run the diagnostics. Before any successful flight, a full systems diagnostic is mandatory. We don't guess, we measure. We will analyze your manifestation vehicle across 3 critical axes: the hardware of your psychology, the software of your spirituality, and the navigation of your relationships. Let's begin the pre-flight check. First, we diagnose Axis 1, psychology, your core hardware and nervous system. The integrity of your entire vessel depends on this. In engineering terms, we are examining the flight envelope and its tension cables. According to the foundational flight data from psychologist John Bowlby, our early attachment programming dictates the structural integrity of this envelope. Think of your sense of self as the fabric of a hot air balloon. The cables connecting the basket to that envelope are your primary attachment bonds. If those early connections were inconsistent or unsafe, it creates systemic weaknesses, what I call micro-tears, in the fabric. These tears are the source of thermal leakage. You generate all this beautiful, warm internal energy, love, ambition, creativity, but it constantly leaks out through these unsealed vulnerabilities. You feel drained, anxious, and perpetually running on low power. Then, when a new relationship increases intimacy, it's like increasing the pressure inside the balloon. Your nervous system detects the structural weakness and fears a catastrophic rupture. To prevent this, it redlines. This is emotional flooding. That sudden urge to flee, fight, or freeze when someone gets too close isn't a sign of your failure to love. It's your hardware's emergency protocol to prevent a complete system blowout. Your system is trying to save you from a vessel it knows cannot handle the pressure of high-altitude intimacy. Next, we diagnose Axis 2, spirituality, which is the software and the fuel purity of your vessel. If psychology is the hardware, spirituality is the operating system and the energy source. We're analyzing your payload and your fuel. The core principle here is the law of resonance, which I reframe as the Karmic propane principle. Your energetic frequency is the fuel. Your desires and goals are the payload in your basket. The problem is that most of you are trying to achieve liftoff while carrying karmic sandbags. These are the unresolved energetic debts and low-frequency data packets from previous flight failures, past relationships, ancestral trauma, self-sabotaging subroutines. These sandbags create what I call the gravity trap. They physically tether you to lower atmospheric conditions, keeping you stuck in recurring patterns. You can have the most pristine hardware, a perfectly sealed envelope, but if you are carrying the dead weight of past failures, you will never achieve the necessary escape velocity. Liftoff requires a precise frequency match. The vibrational quality of your fuel must be potent enough to lift your payload to the desired altitude. You cannot reach a 10,000-foot cruising altitude, a secure, thriving partnership, if you are burning low-grade, contaminated fuel of resentment, shame, and unworthiness. You will simply lack the thrust to overcome the gravitational pull of your own unresolved history. Finally, we diagnose Axis 3, relationships, your navigation and polarity system. This is about thrust maintenance and directional control. We reference the ancient physics of yin and yang, which I define as the essential magnetic charges required for flight. For a vessel to move with purpose, there must be a differential, a polarity. This creates the electromagnetic field that allows for navigation and generates forward momentum. The problem we often observe is polarity decay. This occurs when the distinct magnetic charges, the masculine and feminine energies within the dynamic, regardless of gender, begin to neutralize each other. This often happens in codependency, where two systems merge into one ambiguous signal, resulting in a loss of direction and a turbulent flat spin. The engine of this system is the burner, the flame of passion and connection. Its function is regulated by the burner valve, which is your communication protocol. When communication denoising is ignored, when you allow static, unclarified assumptions, and passive aggression to clog the lines, the valve malfunctions. Fuel flow becomes erratic. The burner sputters and fails. Without a high-fidelity, Open communication linked to regulate the flow of energy and intimacy. Thrust cannot be maintained. Your flight stalls, not from a lack of fuel, but from a failure in the delivery system. Now that the diagnostic is complete, we initiate flight protocols. These are not suggestions, they are standard operating procedures. Protocol 1. System scanning. This is your internal diagnostic sequence. I want you to run this every morning for the next 7 days. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and one on your gut. Begin the scan. First, scan the hardware. Ask your system, where am I experiencing thermal leakage? Feel for the subtle sensations of energy drain. When you imagine profound intimacy, where does the system signal a red line warning? Is it a pressure spike in the chest? A voltage drop in your solar plexus? Pinpoint the location of the microtears. Log the data. Next, scan the software. Ask, what karmic sandbags are currently in my basket? Visualize them. Give them names. Fear of abandonment. Belief in unworthiness. The failure of 2018. Acknowledge their weight and their composition. Finally, scan your navigation. Ask, what is the primary charge of my polarity today? Is it active, forward-moving energy, or is it receptive, magnetic energy? Is the signal stable, or is there static and decay? Data collection is the first step to recalibration. Protocol 2. Frequency recalibration. This is an active procedure. Standard Operating Procedure 7.1. Step 1. Isolate the corrupted data packet. Using your scan data, select one limiting belief. Let's use, I am not worthy of stable love. Step 2. Initiate a system purge. Engage in a 4-4-4-4 box breathing protocol. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Execute this for 90 seconds. This disrupts the neurological feedback loop that keeps the old program running. Step 3. Upload the patch. On your final, slow exhale, state the new command protocol with engineering authority. My core frequency is calibrated for and resonant with secure, high-fidelity love. Repeat this command protocol until you feel a systemic shift, a change in the subtle energy of your vessel. You are overriding the corrupted code. Your diagnostic is complete. We have identified structural weaknesses in your hardware, contaminated fuel in your software, and signal decay in your navigation. This is not a judgment. It is data. With precise data, we can execute precise protocols. You are not broken. Your system simply requires a strategic, engineering-led overhaul. You are the lead engineer of your own vessel. It is time to take back the controls. Fix_outro.